everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And I'm telling you, it has been a day. Thank you all for joining me. I am telling you guys, it has been a day here in DC. You guys. You can probably hear my phone going off a little bit because there has been a lot going on in DC. And when I tell you, I just been going ham on social media, just letting people know, exactly what's been going on. So people don't, get the wrong information, don't get the wrong ideas about things. Like just trying to keep people up to date because I have a lot, and I do mean a lot of people in my family that are Secret Service, that are MPD, and that are other federal agencies over here in DC. So, I'm just trying to keep everybody updated, but it has been a lot. All right. So, I thank everybody for pulling up. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I see you guys. What's going on, Got Flavor? What's going on, Hippie? What's going on, the Genius CEO? What's going on, the Genius? What's going on, Ronnie? Spaces, your car. Thank you guys. Artifacts. Thank you. And thank you, Artifacts, for the super chat. I got it. Thank you, Mike That Dude, for the Cash App. I'm sorry, Artifacts, the Cash App. Thank you so much for supporting the platform. I appreciate you guys. Dion, everybody, Loso Way, everybody that pulled up. Mandy, thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead. Emma, thank you as well. Let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. All right. So if you don't know, the National Guard is here in Washington, D.C. All right. And the National Guard has been here ever since Donald Trump put the surge in place. All right. Now, of course, the National Guard went down some because the surge was over. All right. And now we have a situation where the National Guard is, walking around, pretty much just walking around DC in the main hotspot areas downtown, the stations, because we do have a lot of robberies. We have a lot of, young kids just doing whatever. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in September, the kids down at Nats Park, if you don't know what Nats Park is where the baseball team, the Nationals, play. They, had a wilding out night. And I mean, they went berserk, and the National Guard had to get them together. Okay, because they were just down there robbing people, beating people up, jumping on things. I mean, just doing whatever. Right. So DC is pretty much out of control. All right. It's out of control. The crime is just ridiculous. However, with the surge, it has been working. But again, Donald Trump had to scale back because he was only allowed, a certain amount of time to use the National Guard for that. Now, what happened today was 2 National Guardsmen and 1 other victim, so 3 people, okay, were shot, an ambush, really, okay? And the update is the 2 National Guardsmen are deceased, okay? They are deceased. I got a lot of this information earlier, but I still wanted to wait till my time that I normally go live because I wanted to make sure I had, more information and could talk about certain things as well. So let's go ahead and get into CNN on this matter, even though, I don't like China News Network. But let's go ahead and get into CNN on this matter because they are actually, they actually broadcast this whole the whole conference with the DC mayor, Kash Patel, and others. So let's go ahead and get into that. Here we go.
My name is Kash Patel, FBI Director. We're here to brief you on the tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:15 local time in Washington, D.C., where 2 of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners, to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA. And we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because it's a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Carroll. I'm the Executive Assistant Chief here at the Metropolitan Police Department. At approximately 2:15 this afternoon, members of the DC National Guard were on high visibility patrols in the area of 17th and I Street Northwest when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring him into custody. Within moments, members of law enforcement in the area were also able to assist and bring that individual into custody. At this time, as the director mentioned, the National Guard members are being treated at a local hospital. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene to provide first aid for those individuals and transport them to a local hospital. The suspect in this case was also transported for treatment at a local hospital. Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I too want to send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the Guardsmen and to the Guardsmen who are in critical condition in a local hospital. I am joined by members and leadership from the DC National Guard, from the West Virginia National Guard, United States Secret Service, Deputy Mayor Pia, Fire Chief Donnelly, and Metro's General Manager Randy Clark. And we join with the FBI Director in ensuring that MPD investigates, the U.S. Attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. I've had the opportunity to brief U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking to the president when I called, as well as the United States Attorney Pirro, who assured me that this case will have her office's complete attention.
Mayor, was there any other suspect?
Chief.
Sure. So no, at this time, there was no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot during the interaction and they were transported to the hospital for treatment.
Mayor, does this validate the need for the National Guard here in DC?
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Mayor, can you tell us any more details on the condition of the two National Guardsmen and whether or not anyone else was injured? And a quick question follow-up for the FBI Director. You said that we'll make sure we find the perpetrators for this act. So just to clarify, the person believed to be responsible is in custody and there are no other suspects.
Sure, so I can start out. Again, Chief Carroll from MPD. So both the individuals, the guard members, they are in critical condition at a local hospital at this time being treated. At this point, we have no other suspects. We have reviewed video from the area. It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
Have you got any sense of motive?
No, at this time, obviously, we're very in the preliminary stages of investigation. There's a lot of things, a lot of agents that are here from various federal agencies, law enforcement agencies. We have the full power of the FBI and our federal partners here in the task force. So we're looking at all those different aspects, but we don't have any motive.
Okay, so you guys, essentially what he's saying is that they don't have a motive, but let's be clear. As you can see on the screen, that was what 4:52 that they had this press conference. They are deceased. Okay, the two National Guardsmen. Okay, they are deceased. So I just want you guys to know that. All right, they are deceased. And it's absolutely insane because with everything that's going on, you would think that people have the utmost respect for at least the people in the military, okay? The people that serve this country apolitically, okay? They may have personally beliefs of being, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, independent, whatever. But when you serve in the military, you serve for everybody. Okay. You're in service to everybody. So this is just absolutely awful, especially being in Washington, D.C. Now, I want to get into this also, which is Donald Trump's statement, because Donald Trump is not here in D.C. All right. He's gone for the holiday. So I want to get into Donald Trump's statement really quick. Here we go.
We want to, again, continue to bring you the latest updates that we are getting into our newsroom right here on Live Now from Fox with the situation out in D.C. President Trump has put out a statement on Truth Social regarding the shooting, saying the animal that shot the two National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in two separate hospitals, is also severely wounded. But regardless, will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as President of the United States, and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you. So that is the statement there from President Trump, putting that out just a moment ago on Truth Social, also saying that the suspect was injured as well. That active investigation going on right now. Let's continue to bring you the very latest from Fox 5 DC. Their coverage continues right.
Okay, so Fox 5 DC is the local news station here in DC, okay? So if you live like in the immediate area of DC, the DMV area, you get Fox 5 news, all right? But here's the thing, all right? The mainstream media has already started with this, okay? The mainstream media gets on my last nerves because honestly and truly, I don't know what's going on, okay? Because I haven't gotten all of that background information yet. But the mainstream media has been stoking the flames ever since Donald Trump got in office, okay? About anything with fascism, don't listen to him, the seditious six, okay? That's a thing in the last couple of days to a week now. And I'm telling you right now, you cannot tell me that whether you believe that this is by happenstance or it's by conspiracy, all right, whether you believe whatever, it all falls under liberalism. Okay, it's absolutely insane what they're doing to actually stoke division in this country, whether it comes to immigration, whether it comes to our armed forces, whether it comes to just Americans. Like everything is on the table at this point. And I've never seen this. I haven't, of course, lived a very long time, but in my short lifespan, I have never seen such nonsense towards a president or towards the United States government. Okay, from the government. It makes absolutely no sense. When there isn't anything, going on like Hitler or anything that they try to say in that point. It's just absolutely stupid. We had the things with political violence, and now we've had Charlie Kirk's death, and we've had President Trump being shot at, and now we have servicemen and women who are just standing on a street corner, okay, at a train station here in the nation's capital be shot and murdered, assassinated, if you will. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely. So now I want to get into what the mainstream media is doing, okay? Because here we go with the Crypt Keeper Al Sharpton. Okay, I just knew they were going to start. All right, I just knew BS Now was going to start. So let's go ahead and get into something that he said earlier.
Matter of two people fighting for their lives, guardsmen, that this president put there. And as I said, I was one that was very vocal against that. But I'm not going to belittle the fact that their lives are at stake to get into a back and forth with the president. I can say that if I'm a member of their families, I don't want to hear what he's saying about Honduras right now. I want to pray that these two guardsmen who were ordered there and who we're being told by the mayor was ambushed, make it through. And all of this about sending in 500 people, what does that have to do with where we are now? I think that we've got to, those of us that have been opposed to the president's policy, show that we're not going to morally match him by going down to a level of insensitivity. There are two people fighting for their lives on Thanksgiving Eve. And it just seems ironic to me that people that pardoned people assaulting police officers are now talking about how they're going to uphold and look up to the people in the building. People in that building were beat January 6th. So I'm.
Oh my goodness. And you guys, I apologize if it's skipping. Okay. That is the internet service because everybody is using the internet with all this going on here. But I can't stand Al Sharpton. I can't stand MSNBC. I can't stand BS Now. This is atrocious, okay? Because to take these two gentlemen who haven't been dead, I mean, more than an hour or so, maybe two, they're now using that to go back at the president. I'm telling you right now, these people they absolutely do not care, okay? And let's talk about the assaulting police officers. Okay. And let's talk about a president who stoked violence. Donald Trump did not do that. We absolutely know this for a fact because the BBC has now been sued for saying that Donald Trump said certain things. And we all know that it was clipped up and it's been proven. So I have absolutely no idea why the mainstream media keeps running with this narrative that Donald Trump told them to go down to the Capitol and assault police officers. That's absolutely a lie. And then they talk about the police officers that died. They didn't die that day. Those police officers died days, if not weeks later. And they keep saying that they died January 6th, which is also atrocious because I have family members that know those officers. The left is just absolutely ridiculous and nasty. Absolutely nasty. But I want to show you guys this as well. So here are some videos from X. And, you know, if you guys are, you know, if you have a weak stomach or, you know, this is too much for you, I'm just giving you a warning, a heads up. Okay. So here's someone's video right here. And they zoom in on moments right after. Okay. And so you can see them rushing in. And that serviceman is one of the servicemen that were shot. All right. So just want you to see that really quick. And then this right here is the suspect. All right. Now, the suspect, or who's, you know, supposedly the suspect. This gentleman right here is supposedly the suspect. And of course, you can see that he seems to be, appears to be a Caucasian male or a white male. And he is in his underwears. I do not know why. Please don't ask me why. I do not know why. However, that is also him going into the ambulance because he was also shot and taken to a nearby hospital here in DC. No, he's not naked. He has on underwears. He has on underwears. Okay. So that is one of the other updates as well. It's just absolutely insane. Okay. Like this is absolutely insane. So I want to get into something also really quickly because this is something I saw over the weekend. All right. And this is why it absolutely pisses me off what the Democrats are doing. Okay. That group that they call the Seditious Six, what they're doing, because you have young men and women serving in the military right now that are doing this. I want you guys to see this.
Here in my hands, I have a written paper so I can be very articulate and clear about this message. May 2nd, 2023, I raised my hand and swore an oath to protect the Constitution and the land of the free with the people that reside within. The immigrants paying U.S. taxes, building homes, working blue-collar jobs. I swear to protect these people. They are our people, the ones that came into the U.S. authorized on a visa or green card, getting stripped away from families, undocumented children, losing parents, friends, siblings, pulled from homes to sit in a concrete room. They are kids. I don't need to be Hispanic to know this is wrong. I wear the name United States across my chest daily. I am a reflection of this country. I'm not proud to say this is a country I'm serving if it means destroying the lives of people that provide for this nation. Yes, there is a legal process, but it can be better. The colonists didn't have to pay thousands of dollars or get a visa to be on this stolen land. I might lose the uniform I wear, but then what is the First Amendment? Te escucho.
That is what our young servicemen and women are thinking about. Okay. As I said earlier, it's supposed to be the military. You are here to serve all Americans, whether they're liberal or conservative, independent, whatever else in between. Okay. You are here to do that. And yet this is what they're doing, right? So now you have a lot of this is just one I saw. You have a lot of these service members doing this. And it's just absolutely dumb. It's absolutely stupid. Okay. They're saying all this stuff about illegal orders when it's quite astounding because when Barack Obama was in office, I did not hear them complain. Not at all. Especially with stuff like this.
President Obama confirmed what we first reported here last Thursday. The aircraft captured by the Iranians earlier this month is, in fact, one of America's most sophisticated spy planes. The president was asked about it today.
We have asked for it back. We'll see how the Iranians respond.
In Iran, experts have been poring over the drone. Iranian TV claimed today that they've recovered data from the RQ-170 aircraft, and a top Iranian military official says they can now reproduce it, though U.S. experts doubt that.
So the reason why I brought this up is because there was a huge, and I do mean huge, issue with Barack Obama and these drone strikes, okay? And a lot of the service members did not want to do these drone strikes because a lot of them were just anywhere Barack Obama and the crazy lady Hillary Clinton, okay, Hillary, wherever they wanted to go, okay? They invaded Yemen illegally, okay? Who you think invaded? Service members. I didn't hear one peep out of the Democrats. Not one peep. But yet, we're talking about something that they can't even say what the illegal order is. But it's just to put in the minds of these young men and women who are in the service. It's just to put in their minds, hey, if you think something is illegal, even though it may not be illegal, because this is what they're saying, even though it may not be illegal, question it. And if you have servicemen and women questioning things while they're out there in the field, they're liable to get hurt. And the Democrats know this. When you say that the National Guard is a part of the Gestapo, you have things like we have today here in DC. Okay? Like, I don't understand why the Democrats don't understand what they're doing. If anything is fascism, that is fascism. Okay? Because now you're turning possibly, okay, if it's not a false flag, now you're turning the citizens on the citizens. Okay. And when I say false flag, because there are some people that, think it might be something from, the liberal deep state and, them sending somebody to do something and start a civil war. And, I haven't gotten that deep into it. However, regardless, they know what the citizens are going to do on each side. And they do these things anyway. And it's absolutely crazy. They don't think about anybody. They don't think about any of the citizens because they're not here to really, they're not here to serve us as politicians and public servants. I'm telling you right now, this is absolutely a sad day. Before you go home with your family and your friends and your loved ones and people you just adore, you have to hear about your child, brother, whoever being murdered on the streets of DC. It is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I just think it's so sad. So you guys, let me know what you all think about this, because I just think it's absolutely a shame. I think it's absolutely a shame. It's really a shame that we have to deal with this in the United States. Okay? If we don't want to do illegal things like let illegals in, then you're the problem. Not that we have laws on the books. You're the problem. If you have a person that does public service, and by no means is Trump, I would say he's not the all knowing politician. He's not he's not without fault. However, 80% of what Trump does, I pretty much agree with. And that's because it has been on the things that he has campaigned on, or the things that he has said that he will do and that he got voted in for. So I'm trying to understand where all the dismay comes from. Because if you're here illegally, you knew you were here illegally. Whether you have committed a crime while you're here or not, because you came in illegal. That is a crime in itself. I don't care what Ratchet Crockett tells you. I absolutely don't care. Like, it's wild to me that you have to argue that point, because guess what point they won't argue to you if you do something illegally? Oh, they have to show ID. That's racist. Well, then it's racist every time I go somewhere and have to show that ID. To get on the plane, I got to show a passport, ID, something. Okay, to rent a car, to do this, that. Are they racist too? It's just absolutely insane. Like, it blows my mind. I swear to God, it blows my mind. It just blows my mind, because we have to continue to deal with this nonsense. Like, this is why I could never be president, because I'm telling you right now, I would just go around Congress and you can say that I am this, that, and the third. I would absolutely go around Congress. Okay. I absolutely would. It's just so sad. It's absolutely sad. But you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this, because I had such a different mood before all of this happened. I was just in a different mood. Like, this is awful. Okay, this is awful. And keep those servicemen in your thoughts. Like, this is absolutely insane. You guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this. I did want to get into a couple of other things, you guys. I really did. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go here really quick. I wanted to get into this really quick because I just thought this was absolutely stupid. Okay, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Absolutely, the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And thank you guys in the chat. Happy early Thanksgiving to you as well. Okay. But this stuff is the dumbest stuff I've seen thus far. Okay. And this is the reason why our country, if we don't do something about it, it's just going to go down the toilet. All right. Absolutely go down the toilet, because you have people who are supposed to be clergy. You have people who are supposed to be, just people of good faith, good values, common sense. Okay. And these are the things that they're doing. I want you guys to see this. All right. Let's get into it. So, this person right here, see if we can pull this up. Okay, there we go. All right. So, this person right here, who we're getting ready to talk about, is a pastor. All right. She's absolutely a pastor. And she decided that she would preach about deletions with an A. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. I want you guys to get into this. Here we go.
Talking about abortion makes many people profoundly uncomfortable. At dinner parties, in polite conversation with friends and family, and too often in church. Despite many people's profound discomfort with abortion, images, messaging, and moralizing about abortion are ubiquitous in our culture. Talking fetuses, aggressive bumper stickers, and saccharine billboards quoting scripture and invoking God's wrath pave our streets and plaster our highways. Politicians stump on the issue, and state legislatures spent the last 50 years working to control, regulate, and ultimately overturn Roe v. Wade. Their success was our failure. In the abortion imaginary, all people of faith are against abortion. This imaginary has colonizing many people with its toxic theology and shaping a culture of stigma and shame that has silenced millions of women and people who have had abortions, erasing their voices, their stories, and their witness from the public sphere. As a child of God, I can certainly appreciate the lyrical beauty of this text, as well as the descriptions in Jeremiah and Job of their certain knowledge that God was with them in the womb. I too feel that I am known by God in these ways. As a woman who has borne 2 children, I can affirm that I felt something sacred happening in my gestating body during those pregnancies. I can also attest that I felt God's presence with me as I made the decision to end 2 pregnancies. And I felt no guilt, no shame, no sin. While the liminal space of my womb and all fertile wombs represents the possibility of creating new life, if pregnancy and gestation are to remain holy mysteries, they require cooperation. A forced pregnancy or birth is not
Holy moly. Absolutely not. This is what they're putting out before Thanksgiving. You guys, this is the stuff that we are dealing with right now. This is the stuff that we're dealing with. All right. Right before Thanksgiving, they're having first of all, okay, I'm not familiar with what it's called, but I'm just going to call it a shawl. Okay, that the pastors and the preachers and the clergy wear. Why does that have Planned Parenthood on it? This is absolutely insane, you guys. This is what's happening in these spaces. I'm telling you right now, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely. You can't make none of this stuff up. Okay? That's one of the things that I just think is just, she called it an act of love. I don't know, to you people that go to, church all the time, vet these people. Vet them. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, this reminds me of that that scene. I don't know if you guys ever saw Vampire in Brooklyn, but the vampire became, the pastor, and he was in there like, evil is good. That's what it reminds me of, because how she's in a church doing that, I don't understand. And I don't even know who's listening to that nonsense. I really don't. Like, who's listening to that? Evil. Absolutely insane. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about that. Okay. Now, speaking of evil, okay, because that seems to be the theme of today. We have the resurgence of KENNEKA Jenkins' story. Now, for some reason, KENNEKA Jenkins' mother has decided to resurface. So I want you guys to listen to this woman here who talks about KENNEKA Jenkins' mother resurfacing after so many years, saying that she has been silenced, but she received a $3.7 million payout for her silence. So I am absolutely unsure why she wants to talk now, but let's go ahead and hear her. Here we go.
Did you hear about the mother of KENNEKA Jenkins, who now claims she's been forced to be silent about her daughter's death, and she's ready to talk about it? Teresa Martin is the mother of 19-year-old KENNEKA Jenkins, who was found deceased in the freezer of a kitchen at the Crown Plaza Hotel in 2017 near Chicago. Teresa recently made a post saying that she has been silenced for years and pushed to agree to say things that she didn't understand. She said during the investigation, she and other family members were kept in rooms for hours until they agreed to say what others wanted them to say. He said officials promised to give her answers about her child's death, but those promises were never kept. She says she still doesn't know what happened to her child's cell phone, shoes, clothes, hair, or anything that was on her body when she died. She ended her post by saying, "I've stayed quiet for long enough, but at this point, I'm simply speaking my truth without naming names." The death of KENNEKA Jenkins has been a widely debated topic because her death was ruled an accident, but nobody believes that. People question whether someone locked her in the refrigerator after they murdered her, because they say the refrigerator doors were too heavy for someone of her size to open, especially if she was inebriated. Even though surveillance footage shows her stumbling through the hotel hallways at night, there's no actual footage of her entering the freezer. KENNEKA's family filed a $50 million lawsuit saying that the hotel was negligent because they didn't secure the area. The lawsuit was settled for $10 million and $3.7 million went to her mom. People are responding to Teresa's post and they're angry about it, saying that she's only speaking up because her money ran out and that she traded justice for her daughter for a paycheck. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierica with the T. Follow for more.
Okay, you guys. So what do you think about this? I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I think that the commenters are absolutely correct. I think that she's out of money, okay, because 3.7 million can be spent very easily, okay, especially with inflation today. So you can spend that money very easily and it could be up and out of here. Yeah, I think that woman is broke and now she wants to make a resurgence of this story. That way she can go ahead and get, some book deals. She can, get herself in the limelight. People could talk about it again, because it was a story that people were very interested in because of the sheer fact that nobody knows what happened. Okay. Like, it cuts off after she goes around the corner, I think, and nobody knows, right? There was a gentleman that was following this story, got very close, and of course he is also deceased. So you can make of that what you will. But people are looking at this and saying, okay, so why now? Why now? Why now all of a sudden when you have admitted that you are broke? Are you coming out and speaking? Okay. Your daughter has been deceased for a while. Why now? It's absolutely insane. I'm telling you right now, people will do strange things for change. Okay, 3.7 million. Okay, yes, a lot of people would like, but it's chump change. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, because one, your child is gone. All right, and nothing can replace your child. Not 3.7 million, not 3.7 trillion. I don't care what it is. And it just seems like a lot of people rather take the money than actually investigate what's going on with their loved ones. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely. You guys, let me know what you think about all of this, because I just like the theme of today just seems for some reason to be just disgusting human beings. The person that did that to those people, to those two servicemen in DC, this lady here, okay, because I don't care if she is the mother. All right, to me, you are a mother. No, you take that 3.7 and you get a private investigator. I don't know, you get somebody on the case, but you heard nothing, so that tells me you don't care. And then, of course, Pastor Planned Parenthood, let me know what you think about her as well, because it's absolutely insane. All right, now, last but not least, on our short stories with shots, okay, I want to go ahead and talk about this Crown Act signed into law. Ever since Michelle Obama, Big Mike, ever since Michelle Obama got on, her soapbox the other week and started talking about, straightening her hair, and she's trapped in the straightness of it all, trying to look good for white folks, okay? When white folks don't care about pretty much how you look. I mean, you guys sit here and watch me in curly hair all the time, all right? I flat ironed my hair because I wanted to, not because I'm trapped by the straightness. However, Big Mike is trapped by the straightness. I'm sorry, Michelle Obama is trapped by the straightness. All right. And now the Democrats are going to use that as something pivotal to get, Black women back on the plantation, as if they ever left. But to get Black women back on the plantation, the 92% will be getting the Crown Act also in another state. All right. So I want you guys to watch this, because yes, I understand, discrimination, and I understand that things have happened to Black women, but I absolutely do not think that the Democrats care about any of that. Okay. This is another way for them to get your vote come midterms and come presidential election time. Here we go.
There's some natural hair in a true state, child.
And Lorraine Seeley-Ruley loves every strand.
I love the feel, the texture.
It's why she opened Island Design Natural Hair Salon in Parkside. But not everyone feels free to embrace their natural hair the way she does.
We have been so conditioned to wear our hair press or weaves just to make society or ourselves feel good.
Because discrimination based on hair is a reality.
Someone getting fired simply because of how they look.
And now it's illegal in Pennsylvania.
The Crown Law.
Governor Josh Shapiro signed the Crown Act into law. It outlaws discrimination based on a person's hair. It took 7 years of pushing to pass the legislation in Pennsylvania, led by House Speaker Joanna McClinton.
They will not look at your hair and decide you can't work here.
And the bill's primary sponsor, State Representative Latasha Mays.
We are changing the trajectory of the future of our children.
The Crown Law places hair in the stain-protected class as race under the Pennsylvania Human Relations Act, a relief for people like Tanya Edmonds, who didn't always feel free to wear her hair the way she wanted.
I gauge it depending on who I'm working for, like who's my supervisor.
With bipartisan support, Pennsylvania is the 28th state to have a Crown Law. The woman behind the now nationwide push is a Philadelphia native.
It was necessary to change the law to help redress the long-standing and problematic practice of racial discrimination in the form of hair discrimination.
So with a celebratory hair flip,
I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of this.
Pennsylvania sends a message.
No matter what you look like, where you come from, who you love, who you pray to, or how you wear your hair, you belong here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
News that this salon owner can't wait to share as she teaches others to love their hair.
It's your crown. Why not wear it?
The Crown Act goes into effect in 60 days. Now, under the new law, complaints of discrimination will be filed with the Pennsylvania Human Rights Commission. There's also a push to make this a federal law. In Parkside, Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Brian?
And I'm going to tell you right now, you are about to get an influx in Pennsylvania, okay? Because there and I'm not saying that there isn't any discrimination, but I can guarantee you there will be somebody who will be willing to roll over out of their bed. They got up late and they just said, blah, 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 I'm just going to do whatever. And they roll into work looking a hot mess, okay? And the white man is going to say that this is what they think. The white man is going to say, your hair is a mess. Oh, because my hair is natural, it is a mess. No, it is a mess because you didn't do it. It is unkept. Oh, because my hair is kinky, it is unkept. And thus you will be getting a influx of discrimination for hair, and the state will make more money. Attorneys everywhere will make more money. And here we are feeding the beast. That's what's going on. It's absolutely insane. And thus feeding the beast of the Democratic Party, who always talks identity politics. Again, how does this help Black women with medical issues? How does this help Black women with the maternity rate? Okay, the mortality rate when they're having birth. Like, how does this help Black women, right? Other than making them seem like everybody's after them, right? Because here's the thing. Again, you may have discrimination going on. I'm sure you have it. All right. I'm sure you have it in all forms. However, the Democratic Party never puts anything in place because it is widespread. They put it in place so they can use it as a grounds to do whatever they want. It's never anything good. Absolutely not. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. It's absolutely ridiculous. But he wants to run for president. Okay. He was overlooked. He talks all this identity politics stuff. And that's the funny thing. He talks all this identity politics stuff when Miss Curry, okay, Kamala, she said you were gay and you are a small hat. So no, I cannot have you as vice president. I need to go get the beta of white men, white liberal men. Okay, I need to go get that beta because you, sir, will cause me to lose. And you lost anyway. You went and got Elmer Fudge and you lost anyway. Okay? That man didn't know how to shoot a musket. It's just absolutely insane. But the Democratic Party is the party that's all encompassing and all inclusive. Anyway, absolutely ridiculous. You guys, let me know what you think about all of these stories, because the Democrats are absolutely insane, dumb, and whatever else you can come up with. They're absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me how these people are allowed to just say and do these things when they don't believe in half of the stuff that they talk about. Okay? He could care less. Shapiro could care less about the Crown Act. He can care less about Black women's hair. He can care absolutely less. Okay. These people, they wait and wait and wait and wait, and they use things to get ahead, just like they're using the whole ACA to try to get ahead, when we all know that, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is literally a transference of wealth to the insurance companies and the banks. But yet they want you to believe that it's so everybody can have health care. It's socialism and capitalism at the same time. You can't make it up. So you guys let me know what you think about all of those stories, okay? The Crown Act, KENNEKA Jenkins, Pastor, Planned Parenthood. What do you think about all of these people? All right? Let me know. All right, you guys. All right. So, yeah, Big Mike is doing the most. All right, you guys. So I want to move forward because I want to get into, let's see here. I want to get into a lot of different things. Let's go ahead and get into this right here. All right, let's go ahead and get into this, which is this right here. All right. We have a male athlete that is a strong man, strong woman, okay? And decided that he was going to compete. You cannot make this stuff up. I gotta see what they're talking about. Here we go.
Man, a Democrat, and really quite bulky one at that, won the world's strongest woman competition, lifting weights, in Texas last weekend by crushing a field of real women who were actually women lifting weights in the competition. The Strongman Archives website standings of the 2025 World's Strongest Woman contest showed that Jamie, Jammie, Jamie Booker, taking first place in the division, obliterating his competitors who were actually women. But this morning, the standings were actually changed to show that Andrea Thompson from the United Kingdom, another country altogether, and a real woman as the actual winner of the women's weightlifting competition, the Strong Women competition. You see, after everyone with eyes, including some of the women who were actually competing against the man named Booker, made a stink about it, and the woman who came in second was not amused at all. She cursed just a little bit. And Booker was this morning stripped of the title of he had the women's title and now he doesn't, after the events organizers actually finally realized that he wasn't a woman at all. In a statement on social media, the official strongman.com, that's the organization on Al Gore's amazing internet, and they wrote, it appears that an athlete who is biologically male, which means you're a man, and who now identifies as female, which means he's confused, competed in the women's open category. Had we been aware, or had this been declared at any point before or during the competition, this athlete would not have been permitted to compete in the open category. Any athlete is welcome, sure, but it is our responsibility to ensure fairness and ensure athletes are assigned to men or women's categories based on whether they are recorded as male or female at birth. So, Jason, is that fair or unfair?
I go with the organization. They have their rules, and those are the rules, and so I accept that. And I would say, you said she's a Democrat. I don't know where you got that evidence from, but the most famous.
This guy is absolutely disrespectful. He he knows he has a liberal on, and he's still like, yeah, he. Hey, look, I'm in agreement, but yeah, this gentleman, this ma'am, knew they were wrong. Okay, the ma'am knew they were wrong. No, ma'am, you cannot lie and say that you are a woman and you're like Andre the Giant. Okay, and you're competing. No wonder she, them was lifting all of that weight. Women cannot lift like that. Okay, it's rare. It's very rare. All right, and now I want to get into exactly what the woman that actually won but had to take second place at the time, how she looked when this person, this ma'am, won. She's like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. And that's because you can clearly see. Like, look, how ain't no way. Ain't no way. Absolutely not. There's no way. Okay. That is a regular woman, okay, who's, beefing up to do all of this lifting. Okay. Look, How? How did y'all, how and why? Who did it? Who thought that this was, and on top of that, they don't have any like testing. Like they don't do any testing in this category, in this sport. It's absolutely unfair. Okay? We just had Tish Hyman just a couple of weeks ago talking about the transgender woman that was in the bathrooms in LA in the Ghost Gym. Okay? And the person just transitioned in February. Okay? So you are a grown ma'am. Okay? You're grown. You have all of your ligaments and all the testosterone and all of the muscles that the average biological male has, and you're going to go compete against biological women. It's absolutely ridiculous and upsetting. Okay? Now, they did strip this person of all of it, and they did give it to the second place winner who actually won. But y'all, you guys robbed her. You robbed her of her moment. Y'all knew. Whoever sits on the, whatever it is, the judges, the committee, whatever it is for this sport, whoever it was, you knew. You knew. You absolutely knew. And you allowed it to happen. They need to fire all of y'all. Every last one of you. And like I said, you just had Tish Hyman out there in LA fighting for this, right? Okay. Well, here's Tish Hyman again, because she's back, because she's still fighting, because these Democratic politicians don't get it. Okay. Here's Eric, I want to say Swalwell. Okay. I think that's how you pronounce it. Eric Swalwell. Okay. Here he is in all of his TDS. Okay. Here he is caping for trans women. And here's Tish pushing back again. Here we go.
Question. I want to start with you. I was a prosecutor in Oakland for 7 years, and where justice was warranted and mercy was warranted, I showed it. And where stiff punishment was warranted because somebody got hurt, I stopped it. And I will not be a governor that tolerates violence against women in our state. Period. That's not going to happen. Now, as it relates to the issue of trans kids, particularly in sports,
Sure. In women's spaces, harassing.
Yeah,
You said it wasn't a thing. 14 times you said it wasn't a thing. So I need you to show all the women of California that you're going to protect us.
I'm going to protect women.
Women.
As a prosecutor, I will protect women.
Women.
No woman should be harassed.
Are there going to be men allowed in the women's room anymore? We need to know.
No woman should be harassed in a locker room. That's a
Answer
crime.
straight. Are there going to be women? Are you against men in women's locker rooms and sports? That's all you need to answer.
I'm telling you, I
Please.
don't want men harassing you in women's locker room.
I know.
That should not happen.
It's happening all around America. There are 45 women and there are 45 men in the women's prisons right now, raping them, picking them out like chickens. The trans men are not women.
Nope.
And they're raping women. So I don't care if you're on the Democrat side, the Republican side. We need to be on the women's side, people. It's happening to our girls. It's happening to our women. And I'm here to let everyone know that this is happening. Open your eyes.
I'm telling you.
Millions of people behind me, black people, who they're using our civil rights to push this shit.
Yep.
You want to be the governor, you need to do something about it, because I promise you this, I will not be the last to see of Tish Hyman, okay? Thank you. All right, I want to hear that. You're very handsome, by the way.
Okay. Swall smell. Okay. He's absolutely full of it. All right. He wants to be governor. He's gonna say what he can say. All right. And Tish is absolutely correct. Okay. Now he's trying to be politically correct, but I think he agrees with all that nonsense anyway. All right. I think so. And for the most part, Tish seems like she's a pretty much maybe more liberal. All right. But regardless, she's correct. All right. She's correct about men in women's spaces. I don't know what the Democrats don't get about this. They're in women's spaces. Okay? Men. Okay? The ma'ams. They're all in the women's spaces. All right. And I don't have an issue with no transgenders. I don't have an issue with LGBT, QIA plus, carry the one and go over. All right. I don't have a problem with any of them. All right. I have plenty of people that I know. I live in Washington, D.C., for Christ's sakes. All right. However, you're not going to get me. And you're not going to get others, because there are others in the community like Tish, because she's a lesbian woman, that are coming out saying that this is wrong. This doesn't make any sense. Why are you subjecting our girls to this? Why are you subjecting women to this? Okay. What about their trauma? What about, their discrimination? What about the ones in the jails that she was talking about? Okay. What about them? What about them? You guys are wild. Now he sits to be. Look, at the end of the day, we have to understand that in order to fully support women, all right, to fully support women in this arena here, you cannot support trans women, all right? You can't support trans women. And the crazy part about it is they want to make you seem like you're nuts because you don't support this nonsense. It's absolutely insane. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Trish Hyman getting up in Swalwell's face, because he's running for governor and he's starting that nonsense that, he's going to protect women and all this other stuff. But they really don't care out there in California. They could care less. All right. They can care less, but they push it to you because they're rich white liberals, and which white liberals don't have to deal with none of this, because you won't see none of this in their gyms, in their areas, and on their, farms. The only thing you might see is an illegal nanny. Illegals picking their fruit, because Ratchet Crockett and them love an illegal to pick their fruit. Who's going to pick our fruit, right? And then maybe a legal or two landscaping. The rich white liberals kill me, okay, because they are the epitome of hypocrisy. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of that, because it's just absolutely insane, you guys. Absolutely insane. All right. Now, last but not least, I want to get into the craziness that happened on X maybe a day or two ago. All right. I want to get into this because I think it's absolutely insane, you guys. So on X, like, you can't make this stuff up. On X, we had fake accounts exposed. Now, people want to talk about just what happened on the right. All right. So what happened was Elon Musk turned on a feature that displays your location. All right. Where the account originated from. To me, it's a little bit of doxing, but whatever. It displays where the account originated from. And when I tell you, people lost it because they couldn't figure out why in the world it is that most of the MAGA accounts that were like super huge, right, were in other countries. Now, there's more, but we're going to start with MAGA, all right, because I am a big supporter of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, okay? So we're going to start with MAGA, and we're going to see what they had to say about MAGA. So let's go down that road, you guys. Here we go. Let's go.
Are not popular. And this is why they've had to fake their popularity. So you're telling me that all these large Trump supporter accounts on X were secretly from Israel, Nigeria, Europe, and Russia?
Uh-huh.
Of course they are. Of course they are, because in real life, conservative ideas are not popular. And this is why they've had to fake their popularity for years. And the reason this is such effective propaganda for the Republican Party is because conservatives don't know shit about politics. All they know is they want to be on a winning team. And not a lot of people know this, but for years, they've been artificially getting conservatives on the New York Times bestseller list because CPAC and the RNC, they buy thousands of copies of conservatives' books, and then they just hand them out at events. And this is their way of getting Don Jr. to be a New York Times bestseller. And this is also why every day we see more and more AI accounts of hot women here on TikTok being like, hey, if you're not easily offended and you support our troops, follow me. And then you see all these lonely men in the comment section being like, yeah. But in real life, conservative ideas are not popular, and Trump has only gotten less popular since he took office. And as I told you guys before, I've been screen recording lots of Trump supporters that have completely turned on the guy in the last few months.
Okay, so now that we've finished with that beta, all right. So what he is essentially talking about is that a lot of the, like I said, the huge accounts, all right, were displayed. Their location was displayed, and it was found to be in areas of Asia, in Europe, and in parts of the Middle East, Africa. Okay. Now, again, the mainstream media ran with this. All right. And if you did hear about this, you only heard it from the side of MAGA. You did not hear the liberal side. Well, what have the liberals been talking about for the last, I don't know, couple of months to a year? They've been talking about Gaza, right? Gaza, 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 Gaza. Well, the fake accounts are on their side as well. But one of the biggest scams was Gaza. Shocker. All right. I want you guys to see what the scams on X were about with these big accounts for Gaza.
Welcome back. Well, X, formerly Twitter, has rolled out a new location feature, and it's already exposing a whole ecosystem of so-called Gaza accounts that aren't in Gaza at all.
Shocker.
It turns out a bunch of profiles claiming to be posting from the war zone, pleading for donations, were actually in places like India, London, even Pakistan. Israel's foreign ministry didn't hold back, saying the update has, and I quote, ripped the mask off countless fake Gazan accounts, all claiming to be suffering in Gaza while sitting comfortably in some coffee shop far away. In one example, an account named Yasmin Mohammed described herself as a mother in Gaza struggling to survive with her children. She wrote, "My baby is struggling to survive. We're losing hope. Where is humanity?" But in fact, her account is based in India. Extraordinary, extraordinary story. Israel's Deputy Foreign Minister, Sharon Haskell, joins us now. Sharon, great to see you as always. So,
hello, Sherry.
What were some of these accounts posting, and what's your reaction to this deception?
So this is something that we knew. There are millions of bots and fake accounts run by Iranian operatives, Qatari, Turkish, Russian, Chinese. Many of them are trying to influence, and this is not just restricted to Israel and to the war in Gaza. During the war, there were millions of fake accounts spreading out lies, propaganda, trying to claim for donations, trying to claim for fake stories. And this new feature actually exposed all of them. The fact is that the social media has created this bubble where you don't really know anymore what is the reality and what is fake.
And here's the thing about it. Like I said, it is on all sides. It's on all sides. All right. It's absolutely on all sides. All of these people are getting exposed. Okay. All of these types of accounts are getting exposed. And the thing about it is the mainstream media just wants to report on MAGA because they want to say that there's some type of division and MAGA is over, MAGA is dead, because they do not want the MAGA movement to continue because it has been crushing the Democrats, okay? The conservative movement has been crushing the Democrats. However, like any other group, there are people that disagree, okay? Some believe you should do this, some believe you should do that. However, it has nothing to do with those bots. Those bots have been there, okay? And Elon Musk talked about it before. Elon Musk talked about it. Donald Trump talked about it. Elon Musk talked about it when he first bought Twitter. He said that there was a problem with the bots. He said it. But let's go ahead and continue. So let's continue with this one right here, because just like with politics, it is affecting also other areas on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube, on X, like music, like popular culture, like anything you could think about, because that's what these bots do. I want to go ahead and get into that. All right, here we go.
A house in the United States talking about hip hop because I am a Black American. I'm just minding the culture that I came from. So Elon Musk pushed a new update on X, and during this update, it now allows you to see where a profile's location is located at. So it exposed a lot of different pages for not actually being located in America. For example, a lot of Kendrick Lamar's fan pages that have been going hard for Kendrick have been slandering Drake for the last couple of years. These pages aren't even from people located in America. They
Shocker.
present themselves as though they are Black people, Black Americans, but yet their profiles are listed in India, Europe, South Asia. I think I saw one that was in Russia. I mean, but these people are presenting themselves as though they are Black Americans. And then you have this lady who was exposed, and instead of just saying, you know, yeah, that's true, or not saying anything at all, she decides to be like, I live in another country or something like that. If that were true, your profile picture wouldn't be of an avatar.
Okay, so she's talking about, if you don't know, Kendrick Lamar, the rapper. Okay, now this is affecting Black Twitter as well, right? So it's affecting the gender wars, it's affecting everybody, all right? But that is what she's talking about. She's talking about the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, right? So she's saying all of these accounts, they are, you know, people who absolutely were supposed to be such, you know, big influencers stumping for Kendrick Lamar, and they were fake accounts, right? But it continues, because right after that, I saw this, all right, which is the same exact thing, but it's just for the other side. Like, you cannot make this stuff up.
American account. These are the same accounts that have been pushing relentless propaganda against digital. Everything is fake, y'all. A bunch of Drake fan pages on Twitter have been exposed for not even being American accounts. These are the same accounts that have been pushing relentless propaganda against Kendrick Lamar and relentless propaganda for Drake while pretending to be American, while pretending to be Black. I've been sitting here telling y'all for how long that this is all propaganda. I've been sitting here telling y'all for how long? And y'all been laughing, y'all been joking, y'all been trying to act like I'm a conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat, all this different stuff. Meanwhile, this is paid propaganda. These guys are pretending to be American. And don't even let that conversation expand. Because what about all of the political commentary that we see on social media?
And he's absolutely 100% correct. Okay. So this is expanding. Like, this is expanding across all areas of the American culture, the American fabric, whether you're on Black Twitter, whether you're on MAGA Twitter, whether you on Blue and On Twitter, you know, the liberals, whether you are, I don't know, listening to country music, the Swifties. I mean, it's everywhere. The Barbs. But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And you have Americans going back and forth with these pages. All right. You even have some pages pretending to be white racist people. Okay. And you see black people getting so heated and upset. And then the same thing in the reverse. You have some people pretending to be black people going over to white people's pages and saying, oh, you're this, you're that, you're white trash and this and that, just stoking division. It's absolutely insane. You guys, it's wild. It's wild. But Elon and Trump absolutely told you this. They absolutely told you about all of this. Okay? How many times Trump got to tell you it's China? How many times he had to tell you that? How many times he had to tell you that, you know, you need to watch these servers that are being run by China? Okay? That we're getting things from China that we have in our government. Doge told you that. Okay? What they had access to, what data they were using. Okay? All these apps, all of this and that and the third. Like, it's absolutely insane. On top of that, you have people crossing the border, sleeper cells wide open. They're working for the government. They're working doing this. They're working doing that. It's just wild to me that our government didn't see it before now. It's just wild. So you guys, here are my thoughts. As always, let's pour it up. Today was a very, very, very harsh day. Okay. Today was absolutely insane. And to me, I really do think that the fabric of America is being torn apart by not only people from abroad, but the enemy within. The liberals, okay? Your rhino Republicans that want to side with the liberals, all right? It's being torn apart just to stoke division, okay? You have people out here, you know, murdering people in the military. You have sitting U.S. Congress members telling servicemen and women to question everything. Right. And there's nothing wrong with understanding what your mission is, what the law says, but to stoke fear about something that isn't happening when you wouldn't do it before, when you've never done it, it's just absolutely insane. And yes, it's seditious. Yes, absolutely. Okay. They knew what they were doing when they did it. They absolutely knew. They knew that this new batch of kids, if you want to call them kids, they're adults, but since they're young, they knew that this new crop, they pretty much have been indoctrinated the entire time. Okay. Most of them have only gone into the service because, you know, either they figure they can get, you know, their schooling paid for or something, you know, out of the military. And that's fine. However, they're already going in with the indoctrination from these indoctrination camps, which we call public schools here in the United States that the libs run. All right. And they all absolutely grew up hating Donald Trump because that's all they've been watching for the last 8 years of their lives. So let's be clear. Nothing is by happenstance. Nothing is by chance here in Washington, D.C. They knew what they were doing, whether inside job or not. They understand what they have been saying and what they have been doing is fanning the flames. I had a lot of other stuff I wanted to get into, but you know, it's the holidays and I'm absolutely tired of talking about these people because they are sick individuals. And I want you guys to do something happy. All right. Ignore these people. Try to ignore these people while you have a great holiday. Try to ignore these people. Unfortunately, you know, you have two people who never got to spend the holidays with their family and friends and loved ones. So, you know, rest in peace to those service members, but be happy and be grateful that you get to be here. Okay, whether you are Trump deranged, or whether you are independent, or whether you are conservative, you have a life. Like, live it. As you can see, all of these bots and everybody else from the outside, they're playing on your ignorance and they're playing on your emotions on both sides. It's all right to point out the nonsense that another side does. But once you start getting into the realms where you want to silence people, you want to assassinate people just because they think something different from you. There are a lot of people that won't be celebrating with family members, all because they don't have the same politics. When you start doing that stuff, you have become absolutely insane. Because I can tell you right now, all of the Democrats and the little rhino Republican friends all hang together. Barack Obama hangs with his cousin, Bill Clinton and Bush, okay? Because they're all cousins. They all hang together, okay? And you are sitting there Xing out your family member because they have a red hat or because they voted for Trump and you're Trump deranged about something that Kamala could care less about because she locked up plenty of black women. She don't care about black women. She's not even black. Okay. You're the only one that thinks Miss Curry is black. Okay. At the end of the day, this is the nonsense that everybody else sees and is making money off of. We're the only stupid people still sitting here not realizing what's going on. And if we don't, and I do mean very soon, in the next couple of years, we will be in a socialist country, if not a communist country, ran by maniacs and sick people. And both sides will be in the same boat. Looking stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. But you guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys go out and do something nice with your families. Watch football if you like football. Okay, do something. Watch something other than these ridiculous people in the media. Okay, watch your favorite YouTubers. You know, all of that good stuff. You know, support, because YouTube is the only independent space left, honestly. And they're even starting to call out some of that. So, you guys, thank you so much for pulling up. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you so much to everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat. I appreciate you all for pulling up. I really do. You guys keep those people from the military, the Guardsmen, in your thoughts, if you pray, in your prayers, and whatever you do. Just send positive energy. All right. It's your girl, Mika. And I'm out. Peace. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.